Loud. Okay, getting the volume right. Welcome back. Well, I'm back. Welcome to seeing you again on the stream. How did it go?
Yeah, it went fine. Like I said, as typical of the streams I have done, I let it go on way longer than I should have. I should have
Oh,
ended.
how long did it go? Like
I should have
3 hours?
ended it much earlier than I did. Yeah, it was like 4.5 hours, I think.
But there were people. I saw people on talking.
No, yeah, I mean, and just like all these like open panel streams, the longer it's on, the more steam it picks up, and the more people.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's maybe what I need to start doing. Going longer. Well, tonight is Survivor. And
Yeah.
for me, it's West Coast, so it'd be 10 p.m. Central, and that's all I have to do. So I could potentially keep this one going as long as is needed or wanted.
Long as you need to.
You're going early today, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna really head out. I'm probably gonna go to the doctor, but yeah, just because I'm getting that chest thing and like I've had a runny nose and it's getting in my throat and stuff. The little bit I was able to sleep, it just like I kept waking up with just drainage, and so it's gross. I'm not gonna talk about
nasty.
it. Yeah, that's gross.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
anyway.
did have topics today. I had a few.
Cool.
You need extra time to look like that, Frank. Come on, it's Survivor night. I don't catch no kind of break ever. Christ is King.
Yeah, Christ is King. Like,
Christ is King. And so we're trying to figure out how to hijack the meme. Chris is King.
Right, Chris is King.
Yeah, if you want to.
Satan is Queen. I don't know.
Well, somebody did suggest we go the queer friendly route just in case, and just make it Christ is Queen. But then I said, I'm thinking, well, then that would be Chris is Queen. So anyway, yes, Queen, King, whoever you is, whatever gender you is. Oh, look, we have the Monkey King. And Chris,
I don't recognize. I don't recognize royalty, but you guys can recognize me as royalty if you like. I'm fine with that.
We might have to do that just to like thwart the evil trolls on the far right. So for those that don't know, and I've only just heard about this like yesterday. The phrase "Christ is King" is supposedly now being associated with the far right as anti-Semitic or something.
Yeah, because Candace Owens said it,
and something to do with Candace Owens. Yeah. So now the phrase, like anytime, it's one of those things that's completely innocent and normal until 2 seconds ago, and it got hijacked by some political cause.
And it's completely common around Easter.
Uttering it marks you as something and forces you to take a political stand.
It's completely common around Easter. Like I can't not in the South. I cannot tell you how many churches.
Doesn't it come from the INRI, the JNRJ?
Probably. That's like the Catholic thing. But I'm saying, but like all the Baptist churches and all the Methodist churches and everything, they all have they all have their marquee signs. And they all put something like that up. They all put something that says Christ is King or Christ he is risen, that kind of thing. They put that kind of stuff up every year and really all year round, but especially around Easter, Christ is King is a really common thing. So like the fact that like Ben Shapiro fired her for saying that at the time she did is just like, yeah, jazz hands. Ha 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 ha.
Well, I am on the side of the sane Christians continuing to use Christ as King and not having it be stigmatized. And I am for intelligent people, not caring about this issue or even
it's really dumb,
but also not being able to tell the difference between when somebody's using it in a hateful, bigoted way and when somebody's using it just as part of their Christian rhetoric and mythos.
And if you really want to get into it, though, I mean, I'm not, and we don't. But I'm just going to say this real fast. Christ never calls himself king ever. The only time Christ is being as a king was ever mentioned was whenever the Romans, when they crucified Christ, they put a mocking sign over the top of over his head on the crucifix that said, according to the Bible, that said, this is
Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews.
King of the Jews. Yeah, King of the Jews. And it was like a sarcastic thing. It was irony. Yeah, it was like this is their king. Like look at their king. That's the only time that like the Bible ever mentions Christ as king or anything like that. It's a nonsense thing in the first place.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's in like there's a lot of things in different religion, like denominations that are not necessarily in the Bible but are now part of that religion. So
I know.
For some religions, Christ is king, and so what?
Yeah, and it's fine. It's fine that people say that. I'm just saying, but it's not even like a theological thing or something like that. It's just like a saying. It's a phrase that Christian and like and hey, I don't know. Maybe Candace Owen really hates Jews. I don't know. I don't care. I never.
This is an entertainment channel, so everybody.
I've never watched
laugh and like the subscribe button.
I've never watched more than like a clip or two of Candace Owens ever doing anything.
I don't even know if I'd recognize her at the grocery store. That's how little I pay.
You can recognize her on the Daily Wire because she's the only black one.
I know she's a BIPOC. Yeah.
She's the only black person on the Daily Wire.
Well, we have other names for. Never mind. I don't want to get my channel struck, especially over Candace Owens. So let's.
We're gonna get struck down for that.
Go ahead with you. Well, you don't know what I was gonna say, but go ahead.
Oh, anyway, I mean, I'm just saying, like that's the only like she was. I mean, and like maybe that really wasn't the point, but I mean, I admit it always came across a little bit like when the Daily Wire hired her, it came across a little bit like here's our token black and woman. Everybody else is white and male. We have one black woman.
That's inference, though. Like that's just inference.
I know. It still came across tokenish. But nonetheless, like I never disliked Candace Owens, but I never really liked her all that much either. I never thought she was all that like particularly entertaining or clever or anything like that. I watched a little bit of the documentary she put out after Matt Walsh did the Where's the Woman thing. She did something about Black Lives Matter or something like that, and it was kind of insufferable. But I mean, I have no really opinion on her. I think that it's ridiculous that like if that's really what she got fired for, that is like Ben Shapiro really is like he's having like a nervous breakdown. Really, I mean, although supposedly he's according to like what I saw some video or something where it's Jeremy Boring, the guy that made that awful Lady Ballers movie. He's actually the one that took credit for firing.
Well, he's the CEO.
Yeah, he's the one. He says Ben Shapiro had nothing to do with the decision. It was entirely his decision, and which is weird because he at the same time also said that.
Did he say why? He might not be able to say why.
He said why, but in the sense that he talked around it in a way that where he didn't really have to answer the question. Yeah, yeah. I mean, but basically, I mean, you listen to it, basically it was like, yeah, because he pissed off Ben Shapiro. That's the reason why. But I mean, that's really
Dave is not boring. Dave is one of our top contributors when it comes to substance and actual content.
Everybody,
of course.
You know who's good, Dave? Dave, there's a. I know. I mean, I know everyone hates the PragerU people or whatever, but the girl that does the show on their channel, like I think it's like she even has an African name that's just really just Amala Inkanobi or something like that. She's actually really good. I actually think she's actually really entertaining and really cool. I like her show. I've actually watched it a few times, and like it's like Candace Owens just comes across very stuffy to me.
I feel like we strayed from the Christ is King thing? I know it's tied into Candace Owens.
I know. Yeah, I know. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, but the Christ is King thing is just I don't know. I just can't believe that I can't believe that of all people that the Daily Wire fired someone for tweeting Christ is King.
Is that all she tweeted? What was the context around it?
To my knowledge, like the one video I watched on it, and granted, I watched one 10-minute video about this. I don't care about that much. I watched one 10-minute video about it, and as far as I could tell, like the text, the tweet she made, just said Christ is King, and according to Jeremy Boring, it wasn't the fact that she said Christ is King.
Where did she tweet it at?
It wasn't tweeted at anyone. It was like it was a subtweet, I guess.
Out into the Twitterverse.
Yeah, and just like she said it in a way that apparently he derived subtext from. He derived the context and the subtext of her saying that at the time she said it must mean because her and Ben Shapiro have had, I guess, some on-air disputes about the Israel-Gaza situation, and So because Ben Shapiro is also
tied it to the. I'm trying to find the tweet.
Ben Shapiro is well. I mean, no, in the last couple months, she has like she's a very anti-Zionist, and Ben Shapiro is obviously very Zionist. He is very he's like friends with Netanyahu and shit. So so he's like he literally is like actually like has dinner with Netanyahu.
Critical of Israel, which Ben Shapiro is on the side of Israel,
right?
So they were already having some kind of public.
Yeah, they're having like a public tiff
over
of some
the
sort.
Israel issue. I wish they keep explaining the controversy, but I want to see the actual tweet. You think they're memory holding it?
Yeah, I wonder. I because even in the video I watched, it never even showed it on screen. So like it made me wonder too.
Oh. Because that's my starting point. Is I want to see this tweet myself. That's how
I think she deleted it. I think she did. I think she deleted it after the controversy started. I'm pretty sure she deleted the tweet. But
well, then it's just gossip from that point. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, someone's recorded it. I mean, I'm sure it's been. I'm sure like the someone there is if you're any kind of public figure on Twitter, someone out there is recording your every tweet and has them in a file. Even people like that are inconsequential and tiny little like no name Twitter personalities have people that chronicle their every tweet and in files on their hard drives. I know this for a fact because people did it to my wife, and she never even had that many followers or anything. But there was she had like a weird like stalker that used to like cattle that had like a download of like every tweet she ever made.
It said she posted a cryptic message on social media consisting of Bible quotes about persecution. So I would want to know what those quotes are, and the worship of money, and the statement Christ is King. So it wasn't just Christ is King, it was with these Bible quotes. And for some reason, I can't find what these quotes are. So they don't like, it's like somebody doesn't want the whole story out. Okay, let's see. Is this it? Oh, I might have found the tweet. Yeah, I did find the tweet. It's long. Let me just skim over it. Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake.
The Beatitudes from
Blessed are ye when men shall revile and persecute you. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. That seems pretty generic. It's nothing I haven't heard from Christians before. And then a second tweet attached to that says Christ is King.
Yes.
So I have no idea. If I just saw this as like a Twitter user, I have no idea. I wouldn't have no idea what people are freaking out over.
I can only
I don't
assume,
even like Candace Owen. I can't really stand Candace Owens.
I can only assume that behind the scenes, her and Ben Shapiro had like a spirited debate, or let's just fight. They had a fight about the Israel situation, and she went on and posted that like immediately after, in the wake of that, on her Twitter, and therefore they took as the context, the unseen context of that tweet.
That's
was
what
her,
I like, the context.
Yeah. And the unseen context that probably isn't filmed or is never going to be, isn't never going to see it, is the unseen context is somehow like this fight that happened before that tweet specifically was pointed at Ben Shapiro somehow, and that's the reason why it happened, I guess.
So
I don't know. I don't
care.
I think they're all crazy
that we wouldn't know about.
I mean, that's basically what Boring said, like the little clip of the interview.
He's not even saying it because of the tweet, right? That's just what
he said. He said that the tweet was the tipping point, is what he said in the interview.
So there had been ongoing, because
yeah,
believe me, as somebody that somehow gets embroiled in these ongoing workplace like issues, there had been some ongoing something. So something was gonna pop off sooner or later somehow. And this tweet was just that thing. It doesn't make sense to me from an outsider.
It was the straw that it was the straw.
I don't know the inside, like until they make for a TV movie, if they even make those anymore, for streaming movie.
It was the straw or the nail that broke the camel's back, or whatever. I mean, it was
I don't see why it's a straw, but I don't know what all the other heels are that it broke. or bats.
Yeah, I mean, it clearly it was clearly seen by the people at the network as being like almost a below the belt kind of like type thing. I don't understand how.
That's
but
why we
like,
don't know why. Like they're not saying why they saw it that way, right? No one's.
No, they're like his explanation.
So
like
that makes it hard. That makes it easier to sympathize with Candace.
Yeah, it makes it easier to sympathize with her for sure. And like I think all she tweeted like the next day after the firing was that she was free now to do whatever she wanted. That she was free from that from that horrible whatever job she had or something. So whatever rich people be doing rich people things. I don't give a shit.
Oh well. There's that leaves room for us if Daily Wire wants to. I know who was it? Anton came in and had the idea of how to improve their movies, which need it drastically.
Yeah, they definitely do. Yeah, I talked. Me and Anton did talk about that. There's a lot of improvement that can be made. Daily Wire's movies, like although they put out a couple of good ones. I just think Lady Ballers is pathetic. But
I like the What Is a Woman documentary.
Yeah, What Is a Woman, and I think that Run, Hide, Fight is a pretty decent little like thriller movie. It's about a school shooting. It's nothing. It's really not political. It's just about a school shooting where like there was like one girl whose father trained her how to use guns, and she gets a gun from one of the attackers and she fights back against them. That's the whole movie. It's kind of Die Hard in a school. It's like one girl against a bunch of like school in a Columbine situation, and it's not a bad movie. It's nothing great. The acting isn't like up to the par you expect from like most theatrically released films, but it's still pretty good. I mean, I didn't even think like I didn't see the last couple ones they put out. I saw that one in Shut In, and Shut In was okay, except for like it had one like weird Jesus moment in it.
Where, that's like, a movie.
There's a movie called Shut In where like this girl there's like these people that invade her home and she gets trapped in her and they trap her in her pantry. And the whole movie is her trying to get out of her pantry to get to her daughter.
Did you laugh? Were you able to keep from laughing?
Yeah, I mean, it actually pulls that part off pretty well. The description of it makes it.
Is that somebody's fear? That would have me laughing so hard.
It like the concept of it is hilarious. There's no doubt about that. But it actually is. It's not that badly done. Like the bad guy is Vincent Gallo. I don't know if you know what that is. He's like he was in movies in the 90s a lot, but he's actually a really good villain. I mean, like, and so he's actually really menacing. But the movie like it has one of those moments where like the character like suddenly realizes that she needs Jesus or something, and like has like it picks up a cross and prays for a second. It's nothing. It's not a big. It's like a.
Are you listening to this content? How can you not like this? How is this not fascinating? Go ahead.
Anton said he didn't do.
We just have a bitchy troll in the audience. I had to address real quick.
Well, I mean, we always have that same. We have it's the same bitchy troll we have every. Frank. Frank.
He's a loyal troll.
Frank. You know what Frank comes across? He's more than a troll. He comes across like a bitchy drag queen. The kind of shade you throw, Frank, it comes across a bit like a drag queen. I have been to drag shows and I've gotten like that kind of shade thrown at me before, and I'm telling you, dude, you could pull it off if you want to put the dress on. You could go out there and do a drag show with like your kind of humor. Like, yeah, that's you ought to be a big fan of Drag Race. You ought to. I'm surprised you don't get all your material from that. And I love you, Frank. I love you, man.
I was hoping Lib would show up for this other topic, maybe related to Jesus is King if he is indeed Queen. It's several things tied together, but it's trans rights versus gay rights. Did gays get their rights because of a certain status they had as gays, and is that the same thing as what trans are asking for because of their status as trans? And what's the difference between trans and gay rights, which boils down to what rights don't they have, which we've never been able to get an answer to yet, including from Buck Angel. But then also, like, what's the line between trans and gay? Like, growing up now today, would a kid be more trans than gay because it's just framed differently than it was in my day, where it was attraction based?
There was a couple of years there I think that was getting that way, but I think that's already backed off some. I've even noticed it amongst my daughter's friend group in theater and stuff like that. Like there was a lot of like just a couple of years ago, there was a lot of like kids in like her theater group that were kind of like doing like the whole, they're doing like the more like they were kind of like testing out the other gender type stuff a lot more and stuff like that. And like that's already in like and a lot of the girls are dressing in dresses now and the boys are dressing in jeans and t-shirts. And I mean, I'm not saying that that's an anecdotal case in one place, but I mean, it's like my overall vibe that I get from culture right now is that like that was kind of it was kind of turning that way, but I don't feel like that has continued turning that direction as much. I think like some of the backlash and everything is really, which I mean, and really does suck for a lot of the trans people that were getting close, I mean, that already did have acceptance to a lot of degrees, and maybe we're closer to getting some type of more general acceptance that now. There's some people that will never accept them in any form because of the fact that
I never expected that. There's always going to be some people that never accept a certain group or for this characteristic or another. That was never the goal. Was every single human on Earth accepting? It was a reasonable amount of progress, which we have exceeded. I never imagined the progress that I see today.
Yeah. I feel like that wave is pulling back in from the shore somewhat. I mean, it'll come back again. It'll crescent again, and it'll come back, and it'll do its whole thing. Things ebb and flow. They ebb and flow. What happened to Chris's pet raccoon? Where did the fairies kidnap it? Ha 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 ha. Also, my raccoon is you're right. She might be a raccoon. I'm not entirely certain. I rescued her from a storm drain when they were kittens. I don't know. Maybe they were baby raccoons. I'll never be certain, and I don't want to know because I took them to the vet and got them fixed, and like they said they were cats, so that's good enough for me. That's as far as I want to go with it. I'm not going to investigate any further. But yeah, I mean, you're not wrong for noticing the raccoon likeness of them. There's something very feral and badgery and raccoon like about those cats.
I don't think it's going anywhere. I don't think it's going back into any kind of closet anytime soon. Who is Replant? Replant.
Replant. I've never. That sounds very dangerous right there.
Yeah,
that sounds like a porn bomber if I've ever heard one.
Who are you? Do we know you?
Yeah, you're gonna have to put something in the private chat and show yourself on camera for a second.
We've been getting trolls lately,
and we've gotten porn bombed now. So like we're on guard, on guard. But if they disappear and they refuse to answer that question, then I guess I'm gonna assume that was a porn bomber then. All right. So if you weren't a porn bomber, you better come on and and explain yourself and explain how you're not.
That first porn bomb was an actual person. Like he didn't even have an avatar.
I know, but the fact that the aura plant or whatever, it just sounds like.
Who are you? Do we know you from another stream or something? Just type in the private chat if we do. Otherwise, I don't want to risk it.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, because you're going to porn bomb us? Like what?
No, it's cool. We'll just leave them there.
All right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that seems like it's like, well, I thought you wanted to be porn bombs. Like what? Did I go to the wrong place? I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I thought you guys asked for a porn bomber to come by. Airplane. It's like it's kind of like a strippergram. It's.
Did y'all have those air plants growing up?
The air plants?
Yeah, it was like a green fuzzy leaf, and it sat in this little glass bowl. It didn't need soil. It might have needed water. I don't remember, but soil or anything.
A fern?
And,
like a fern?
Maybe it was called an air plant. It was like a novelty, and it stank. Oh my god, it stank so bad.
Oh really?
It smelled like rotten egg.
Yeah, I hear you, Frank. I killed all my pet rocks too, but they didn't just die. I killed them because they were
I
assholes.
thought it was. All right, I thought it was you. I'm gonna take a risk.
All right, let's do it. Let's live on the edge.
If you live on the edge, stream to do it on, because nothing's happened in 25 minutes and 19 seconds. Welcome.
Yeah, I wouldn't dare,
except for sparkling conversation.
Yeah,
I actually was just
a little bit sparkled out.
Yeah, man, I was just thinking. I don't know, I was just going over some thoughts and stuff, and then I was like, yeah, I'll go see what's going on here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but your name replant just sound. You understand how that sounds like someone that's literally like telling you they're like gonna porn bomb you or troll you somehow up front. It just
Frank, I tried to see Monkey Forum when I was a kid. We had the sea monkeys. Okay. They sold them at the it's called TGNY. It was like a department store before Walmart. And I could never get them to grow.
Like a Montgomery Ward. Remember those?
It was like a little.
Can you guys hear me?
Like a Howard.
Okay, cool. I was just when I came in. When I saw what was going on, you guys were talking about. All I heard was Chris say something about, well, yeah, my raccoon, and I was like, I'm just gonna click the link. I have to just at least listen to this.
I have a cat that looks very raccoonish, so.
Welcome.
That's all it is.
Oh,
what's going on?
Ah la 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 MoOse. Ah la 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 MoOse.
The journey is over. It's complete.
Brown's boy in the house.
What's up, man? How do you guys know that it's Brown's boy? I'm just curious because it doesn't say that.
I thought it was common knowledge. I just know it from the panel gossip. Yeah,
I'm a professional panel-verse, dude.
No, I mean, like, I don't know if when I type something in the back, does it say Brown's boy?
No,
unless you're logged into the Browns boy account.
I am.
But you don't have you don't have anything that distinguishes you other than being yourself.
Which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing. I happen to like Lanza, but you have a lot of haters out there, I know, but I happen to like you.
I like Lanza too. Me and him we were going at it at Jack's because I just was so in my confusion.
What happened with Jack? Oh, you mean that day that I thought y'all were on the same side. I thought Jack was attacking both of y'all.
No, Jeff, this was like the day after this.
Oh, okay.
I think. I don't know. But yeah. I don't know. I was just trying to be like, yo, let me honestly see like where I can actually find positive. Like, the dude can speak, bro. He can speak. Okay. I'm not going to try to convince you. And that skill alone does have value. And once I fucking realized that, then I was like, whoa, I could see him being in places, you know what I mean? And then I know that it's not traditional for anybody to go up and like actually just really try to really support him. And I've been on the other side of that, or I've participated in, finding a bunch of flaws before. So with the new lens or the new perspective of, okay, yeah, let me see if this positivity, let me see if I'm right about this, if this is an actual, and it's an actual thing, regardless of which messenger told you that the dude could speak.
You still talking about Talcott? Are you worried that he's headed for some kind of crisis?
Not me. I'm not worried about that.
I agree with you. I've made this point to Jack Talcott before. I have said that I think he has a lot of talents and I really think that he's kind of wasting them on what he's doing with YouTube and stuff like that, because I think he'd do a lot better if he was connecting with people on a more one-to-one level. If he was like, he could lead like, anything from like an AA group to a Bible study or something like that, and actually like, touch people's lives in a way that actually like might make a bigger difference than just dealing with trolls all day long, because he's just attracted such a huge troll audience. And like, I don't know. I kind of feel bad for him, because I think he's got a real gift.
Where are you?
I'm trying to find my phone because I heard it ring and I went away from the computer.
In the bathroom right now?
No, I'm not in the bathroom. I'm actually trying to find my phone over by the bed. I
Here's the thing. There's no way. There's no way to say. Go ahead.
All right. I just gotta go real quick. You guys weren't there when I was like helping Jack, helping boost him up and stuff. Like you haven't. I don't know if you've been there for the 2 years of like straight trying to boost this dude up and like spread the message and like I know he has a good voice and stuff like that. Problem is he's fucking lazy, Lanza. He doesn't put in the work to actually be the guru he wants to be. If he would just go
hold on, guys, right there,
be
right
Jack
there.
Talcott.
Wait. I hear what you're saying. I'm not trying to dismiss what you're saying. I want to just clean it up from my perspective and possibly for others. If you look at him as a guru, you will miss the message, essentially. That's kind of how I figured out.
He is not a good guru. He should not be a guru. I think he can be. He could be a leader. He could be a leader. He could be a teacher.
Man, there are no gurus, essentially. Anybody listening that might be in doubt, there's like one in every 1,000 is a real fucking guru. Okay.
Most gurus are con artists anyway.
If I call my bedroom wall a guru, that doesn't make it that. So why would I look at it as that?
Right.
That's not what you're not looking. No one's looking for a guru, dude. No one's looking for a guru.
It's basically saying you're looking for a guru is like saying you're looking for a good cult leader.
But some people are. Some people are looking for guidance from other people that they can project.
That will control their every thought in life.
Go ahead.
No, I don't think people actually. Yeah, no, I get you. Like it's the thing that people's perception of what Jack is trying to be, though. It's not what people go to Jack for. People go to Jack for communion. They go for community. Like they go to hang out.
I think they go to troll him.
I thought he was like a scapegoat.
Yeah, I think they go to Jack to make fun of him and to troll him.
He's got a wide variety of audience. He has a vast majority of people who go to troll him, right? But then he has like some really diehards that love the message, like the message of love and like.
MoOse.
But how many people are there?
MoOse and I have interacted with. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, how many people that go to Jack's channel actually geek out on his message? It seems like 90% of them are there to throw tomatoes at him, and maybe
pretty much.
a few of them like resonate with what he's saying.
He's the Fozzie Bear of the panel verse, you know.
Okay, but MoOse was making a point where I actually thought about this, and it's interesting that MoOse brings this up because I was like, if I get the chance to talk to MoOse, I'll try to remember, which I didn't, that he was here for like 1.5 years more than me, or more. And he has a perspective on that, and I was hoping that you would share because you started to. But the difference is that it's fucking crazy, bro. It is like, what's the problem? Like, the problem isn't Jack, bro. Okay, let's start there. What would be the problem with his message?
I think the problem is.
I don't think Jack's the problem either.
I think the problem's a little bit Jack.
See,
hold on. What is the problem?
This is the paradox right here.
I don't personally have a problem.
I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna let MoOse do his thing because I know MoOse knows way more than me about this, and I'll take what he says into consideration against what I know, which is what.
All right, so here we go, folks. So when it comes to what the problem is not I have a problem with Jack, right? What the problem comes in when Jack has a problem with me, right? Because when you try to tell me that the sky is green, then I want proof of the sky being green before I say, hey, I'm going to follow that, right? And so when I ask Jack, he wants to have a personal relationship with me, and he wants to coach me into greatness, which I've achieved multiple times throughout my life. And, it's one of those things where it's like, dude, I just want you to show me proof.
That fish alone is proof of that. That fish is like.
I thought you were trying to produce him into greatness.
Yeah, for real. Because that fish picture, man, every time I see that, I'm like, damn, I've never accomplished anything like that massive before. I've never done anything as great as catching a fish that big before. That's an impressive shit.
His message is needed, though, like, the message of love and stuff. But the problem is he doesn't have the right message to keep, like, people on the right track. It's like he goes from
he doesn't have
to,
specifics.
all right, we're going to ending war and suffering, and then we're going to go to my son. And I haven't seen my son in like 10 years or whatever, but anyways, I'm going to start talking about him, and like then we're going to go into how like I used to be an alcoholic and and then we're going to go into how I want to teach you, but then I'm not really there yet. And that's the problem, is he lacks confidence in himself. So if he stopped lacking confidence in himself,
but I
and
can't
just
say
went
that. I
all the
can't
way,
say that.
I feel like
I can't say that. I mean, you can say that, but like I would be a little bit more careful.
Leader. He'd be like the best AA group leader, like he'd be one of the best ones in the country. I mean, he would be great at that. He really would, and he would actually help people's lives. I mean,
I don't even watch Jack.
Though.
I don't know any, like he has me nowhere. I have no connection or relation to Jack.
Okay, so as far as this, right?
A few times.
Nobody can just change somebody else's mind, correct?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, so if we expect him to change somebody's mind, then we would be stupid, correct?
But he could be a good influence on certain kinds of people. He could be a good influence.
So what's wrong with that?
But why?
There's
if
nothing
he's
wrong
not
with that.
The influence
Exactly.
you want, just go find the one you want. Don't sit there and like beat your head against this one guy.
Now, I don't know. I'm not going to get into the whole. Like, I understand that there is freaking more, dude, and I understand that there's definitely things I don't understand, that I maybe can't understand at this point. But I don't. It really comes down to what does he want, right? At the end, and he knows that. I mean, that's the thing, is I think he knows it. Like, I don't know. I just saw something where it was like,
I mean, if it's come down to like to fixing Jack's show or something like that, or making a show. I've already explained this many times. Two hots on a cot.
No.
He sees two hot women, sits on one on either side of him, and like he just does the same stream, just two hot women on either side of him, and like
whatever. I could be whatever wrong.
No, dude.
I could be.
I'm just joking around. I'm just joking around, dude. No, I'm not trying to down here or anything like that.
MoOse really would have way more to say on this that I could only learn from. And I mean, I
definitely
could say something back if he asked me to, but I'm just going to be quiet for real.
All right. If he has anything else, hang on, let me take care of this troll.
Just kidding, mother. No, I'm kidding.
If you have questions, ask, and then
I don't really have any questions because I wasn't there to ask questions. Or just, I'm not interested that deeply unless there is something that you think.
All I can say is that everybody wears a mask, and when certain people take their mask off, they're a little bit more vicious than others.
MoOse, I have to say something real fast, and this is completely unrelated, but it's funny anyway, so I'm going to say it right now. If you heard the song, I think it's by a band called Viagra Boys, called Punk Rock Loser. Have you heard that song?
Viagra Boys, Punk Rock Loser.
Yeah. The big refrain of the song is like I ain't no average punk rock loser. I'm loose, and every time I hear it, I hear I'm moose. And
I'm loose. Wow, it's like my prison song.
Every time I hear it, I think to myself, I'm moose. So I want to say that last time you were on, and it's been a while, so I got to say that to you. So
it's a beautiful tribute. I appreciate it.
You should look the song up and just listen to it with that in mind, and just be like, it'll be your theme song in no time. Like,
okay, so what have we accomplished in the last year and a half, or 2 years or whatever that we've known Talcott? Well, so we've been talking about the same thing since, and the message hasn't got more concise, hasn't been more clear. The only thing that's gotten more clear is the frustration in people that do not follow the doctrine of Talcottia. That's the only thing that's clear. If you don't follow the line, then
he needs a fan club. He needs a fan club called the Talcottian Warriors.
What were y'all trying to
Talcottia Warriors?
Yeah. I was just trying to raise the bar because I was trying to make sure that he had his numbers were increasing so he could get monetized, and then once he got monetized, that was my goal, was just to get him monetized, because I knew that he wasn't going to go back into the regular workforce, right? And so I was like, well, we got to get him a job.
Yeah, so that all sounded like good plans, but it just.
I mean,
he got monetized, right? Because you could get memberships.
He got monetized, but then I stopped working with him because he started getting mad that I didn't want to deal with him in private. I didn't want to call him on the phone and be his friend and stuff like that. I just wanted to do work, you know. And so he started yelling at me on the phone, telling me that I wasn't doing his direction. I was doing my own direction with the show, and how he wanted the show to go a different way. But then, like, even after I stopped working with him, he still used all the stuff that I did for him, and he's still kind of like, I don't know.
I think he should turn his show into a live YouTube AA group.
It should just be a lull. It should just be a straight up fucking funny cow, like hang out with Jack. Jack is experiencing life. Check out what Jack's doing today, kind of thing. Like, fuck it. If he's walking in the park, film it.
But if he wants to teach people, if he wants to teach people and people can learn from his experience, like he should.
You gotta know something before you can teach something, Chris.
Well, I mean, he did get over alcoholism, right? He beat alcoholism. Or is he still an alcoholic?
Did he?
Yeah,
you don't have to know how to
experience.
Never mind.
I think he's a life coach.
Well, I mean, I don't know that he's coaching anyone, but he's
not licensed.
He is,
he said
bro.
That he's
life coach you don't need to, especially in Washington State.
I'll stand on what I said, bro. I have learned new perspectives from him that I never thought I would ever encounter. That is a win. It made me think about it.
That's cool.
And that's
fair. It made me think about it because I'm thinking.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm thinking similarly to you guys, where I'm like, I don't think, but I was a little bit mean here and there. I'd throw some.
If you were to watch a video that Talcott was to get his information from before he relayed it to you,
hold on. Can you start over? Sorry.
Okay, so say you watch a video, right? And then all of a sudden you go to Jack's and all of a sudden Jack's teaching about that. I think you would have a different perspective because I've done that. I've watched videos alongside Jack that taught him something, and then he watched a 20-minute video and did an hour-long lecture on what he just watched on the 20-minute video. And so, like, I'm not trying to drag Jack through the mud.
I don't know what you're saying. You started off negative, and then you gave him a great compliment. Now what?
He really, I mean, honestly, he should do something. He should write a book or something. That would be a good place from the start. If he had a book like type thing, he could actually do like live speaking.
He needs a writer. He needs somebody to do the work for him, guys.
Listen.
Yeah,
what about this StreamYard thing? Giving the StreamYard keys to Paul.
Listen, guys, let's just get off the subject. We're talking about something else.
StreamYard keys to who?
I'm okay with that. Y'all came on want to talk about it.
Oh yeah, I'm cool with that.
Well, I do want to, but I want to do it with
Talcott.
I don't know. It's not the right. It's not the right setting for me. So I'm just making a suggestion.
Oh, that's fine. I'm okay moving on.
Like if we were chilling just the four of us, it'd be different. But there's people watching.
Christ is king and trans people. And if Jesus is black.
All right, let's go back to Talcott. So. No. All those other subjects were about the same sort of like, no, it's hard to know, so it's like, it'd all be opinion, right?
I think I really do appreciate MoOse's perspective on Talcott because I see him very the same way. I see a lot of potential in Jack to fulfill a niche, a role like that's probably needed in some sense even in the YouTube sphere or in real life to some degree. And I feel like he's missing his calling to some degree with what he's doing. And like I think that he's got a real talent that he needs to that needs to be refined and molded somehow. He needs a producer. He needs a producer MoOse, he needs a producer to come on there and actually show him how to show better, but he won't listen to them. And like, that's what happens. So many people, so many artists and stuff like that, that have raw talent.
He's not afraid to talk to big personalities either, dude. He doesn't choke up. He doesn't like have that stage fright. Like, I've seen him on Antoine Daniels and multiple other like shows, even on that dating show. He went on a dating show on here.
Yeah, I know.
Like as a contestant to date.
Yeah,
like to try to date. Oh,
he was a contestant. So he doesn't choke up. He's really, really amazing at that. The problem
he seems to have a good sense of humor about himself most of the time.
He needs to have a message, a clear, concise message, something that doesn't go off into the wild.
He does, but the more you push it, it gets crazier and crazier. It's the same with Liv. They have messages, but they're not.
We can't do the UN thing though. Let's do something
guys.
we can actually achieve. Like we're not going to the UN and speaking in front of everybody. Nobody's listening to us. Like let's do something we can actually like. Achieve.
And if that's your goal, if that's what you want to do, you got to start smaller than that. You can't jump straight to like you can't decide. You can't wake up.
I remember the night he said, because he said his YouTube channel was trying to do that, but that none of us were the people that his message was actually meant for, and he had to go find the right people that his message was actually for, and he dismissed the entire YouTube audience he had built up. I'm like, well, why are you doing this YouTube every day if we're not even the people to receive your message? Like, why don't you go redirect your efforts,
guys,
where your message is going to be received?
Guys, listen, he wants to be there, right? I mean, everyone is where they want to be right now, based on past decisions, experiences, blah, 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 blah. We could change it right now. That's to say that. But with him, like, okay, what did I say in the very beginning? Do understand why I say some of the things that I say, not all of them, but some of them. In the very beginning, before we talked about it, I said, let's start with, can anybody teach anybody else something? Or can somebody change somebody's mind?
Yeah.
Right? Unless if they want to change their mind.
Wait. It's the probability of the super highly unlikely, and the point of the interaction is so that the individual thus learns to teach themselves.
Yes.
So that's why I said that in the very beginning. Don't talk about the guru stuff. Don't talk about really whatever, because in a way it has to be done by you anyway. So what are you talking about? Exactly. See?
And we tried. It's like a swamp. We tried to move on.
It's not a swamp. It's actually sinking. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, okay, you guys were talking. Okay, he wanted to do something digitally. That's what I take. If I work off of that notion, if that's true or not, doesn't matter. But if I work off that notion, then he got online traction a little bit. Okay, right?
Get your ass up here.
Listen, guys.
What are you talking about, Liv? Who's critiquing Carrie?
No, I have a trans. I was in a Twitter debate.
Hey,
there's a trans question.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can. I'm sorry. We got to check the chat for a second.
Liv showed up and he hijacked our attention.
Sorry, man.
All right. Well, the point is that nobody can change somebody else's mind. That person has to decide to do it themselves. So if you're looking for a guru, that means you have decided to do it for yourself, but you need a little bit of help. Now, he says I'm not a guru. So right there, don't take him as a guru. Get that crap out of the ether. I don't know. Maybe I'm like stripping this down to the core, but what I'm trying to say is like
I think he needs like a makeover, you know. He needs the
definitely. I've said I have been worried about that hair, that beard.
No, guys, look, it's all done digitally, right? That's what we know. So why not just do it physically? Makeover. Because then you could always just digitally fucking whatever.
Because it's actually easier to change his clothes than it is to digitally like change them on the screen. That takes
what?
Artist.
Chris, what kind of a joke was that? That was like either the nerdiest.
Trim your beard.
Do you not see what I'm saying? I'm saying his work is online. If he were to just do more things in person, I bet you the pay would be a lot higher, because like that's where my ideas came from. Was like, yo,
this better be a good conversation, because I was just watching a stream about the Kanye stuff, which is fucking hilarious. And
don't let me take you away from that.
What Kanye stuff? What Kanye stuff happened? There's no Kanye stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's more like he's just being fucking insane and off his meds.
But that's Kanye. He's been insane off his meds ever since Kanye became Kanye. I mean,
Well, we were talking about Talcott too. Like I feel like people are exploiting the people, like people that are headed toward crisis, whether it's because they're off their heads or they're under extreme stress or whatever, and their personality, behavior, and physical appearance begins to change. A lot of people are exploiting that for entertainment value, or like the train wreck phenomena. But I'm more concerned. I'm more taking it as a marker of.
I'm trying to exploit that myself for entertainment value, and it's not even working. So
Yeah,
I mean, somebody else has to.
Chris, you're hilarious.
We need to get you doing
I think you are. I think Chris is really funny, dude. He has some funny jokes.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Chris, all we need to do is get you on lithium and then get you off lithium, and then you'll just be.
I did that already. I swear that's actually true. I actually was on lithium and got off lithium. It made no difference. I don't know.
You said God off lithium. Were you talking about the God of Lilith?
No, yeah, probably. I don't even know right now, man. I'm so like stoned off talking about Jack Talcott. Just like I got a contact high from talking about him.
What?
What was your?
I like Liv's topic a little bit better.
Twitter question.
Yeah. The topic about lithium specifically. How it's in batteries and shit, and like there's no real good way to get rid of it.
I know that you have to have it monitored. Like they have to monitor your blood level. It's not a drug you can just like play with on your own. You have to.
No. It's I think don't they give it for people with BPD sometimes? I think that's what.
Yeah, it was originally for what they called bipolar, manic depressive, or the extreme move swing. It would stabilize.
My computer used to get a blue screen in like the early 2000s. It would get a blue screen, and I'd give it some lithium, and it would shoot right up.
But Jeff, what was your Twitter trend question?
Oh, let me see.
Wait, what? There's a lithium.
It was a rather complex conversation, but it involved the difference between.
Who is doing?
Let me see if I can articulate.
That was me. I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus, Chris.
The difference.
I thought you were rounding up the hogs in the. Sorry.
I'm trying to round them up right now. Mm-hmm. The difference between gay and trans, gay rights and trans rights, and did gay people get their rights because of their like special status as gay, and is that the same thing as trans people's special status as trans, and the gay being attraction based. Oh, that was my question for you. Like, gay was attraction based.
No, so it's emotionally damage based.
Attraction is either seen as a negative. There's like a negative bias to it, or it's seen as insignificant. So using attraction to ground your identity or to classify people is like obsolete. And so why is there this move away from attraction? Just the Geist. This is coming from Twitter.
It's all emotional based, guys. I'm telling you, because the universal basic income, white males are going to get the lowest, and trans males are going to get the highest.
I thought everyone was going to get the same.
No,
or like it'd be proportionate to whatever their circumstance.
No, African American trans males are going to make more on the universal basic income. Because the emotional damage that they have to experience living life in the way they do.
Got it right here for you, Vlad.
Yeah, I have
real quick. One of my best friends, his sister, she's like amazing. She's a great person, but like I never really get to hear from her. I go, how's she doing? He goes, not good, man. I go, why? He goes, she has been watching all these makeup shows and stuff. And the other day she said to me, I wish I was black and gay. And she meant it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know, just kind of scary shit.
Yeah. You know, my sister, when we were younger, we used to watch Disney Channel. My sister was obsessed with the show That's So Raven. Do you know that show?
Raymond.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say That's So Raven. I could. My psychic Raven senses.
Yeah.
Could foresee that coming from a mile away.
Mm-hmm. To the point where she would pick up on like the kind of vernacular that Raven Simone would use in that show and use it.
And they get called racist for being a white girl doing that.
No.
No, not really. Okay.
It was just a thing that a kid did. Way back in the day, and I mean, it was a little quirky, but it wasn't. No one thought it was.
But every time I try to do, Samuel Jackson's like bad motherfucker speech from Pulp Fiction in my good Sam Jackson impersonation voice, people try to run me out of town and cancel me.
Do they really?
No, I'm just joking.
Okay. I can see you.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna joke a jokey mood today.
Okay, well that's good though.
Yeah, but the only people I know who would even care about the topic that you're discussing, Jeff, are people who are very chronically online and should probably go outside and touch grass.
Well, that includes you too, because that's the exact kind of conversations that we have on these streets.
No, I do not have a conversation as to which is more valid, which sexual attraction or
why is the trend away from sexual attraction now and toward identity, like inner?
I don't agree that the trend is away from sexual attraction. I think that broadly speaking, the right has sort of been less critical of sexual attraction because they need the bigger tent. They lost the gay fight.
Wait, start over. Say that again.
The right lost. Yeah, the right wing lost the anti-gay fight a couple decades ago,
and the left wing won the gay fight. And that's also part of it too.
Yeah. And so a lot of the culture war conversation.
Okay, well, that is the context for the tweet. I'm going to read you the first part of it. What are your feelings about comparisons between trans rights and gay rights? Gays gain the right to marry through a status argument, but gay is generally demonstrable by personal claims and behavior. It's not quite clear to me how this is different from trans.
I don't think that gay is any more demonstrable than transgender.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean, you can observe people with who they're attracted to.
Could they not be lying or deceiving you?
Well, yeah, they could be lying, but it's like if someone told you they were gay and then you saw them hold hands with a guy, it would be congruent with their statement that they were gay. But what's the objective counterpart to someone feeling like a woman, other than maybe like social transition, the way they dress, the social
transition. It's social transition. That would be the primary indicator. Would be some form of social or medical transition is usually an indicator. However, but again, like the whole holding hands thing, you don't need to go around holding hands with people openly of the same.
If someone tells me they're gay, I'm gonna take them at their word. Like,
sure.
Unless I have a reason to think they're like lying.
Same thing as trans.
I agree. Yeah, and that's the same way you treat trans, because I can't see in someone's brain what they actually are or think. So unless I have reason to not take them at their word, I take them at their word.
And we've all seen the occasional cases where we're like, okay, there's something not quite right there, but yeah. But on the whole, like, I mean, it's like still if I had to interact,
support Steven Crowder's transition, because Steven Crowder, I believe, is actually trans.
I don't know.
You know what? You may not be wrong about that.
It doesn't sound like he's actually transitioning, and you guys are making fun of him. No,
it's a joke. He's a quote unquote comedian who does lots of cross dressing.
Who recently got left by his wife, so now he's trying to fulfill that role.
Okay. Oh, are you talking about James Corden?
No.
Unfortunately,
the one that does change my mind.
I mean, sorry. Fortunately, we're not talking about James Corden. I hate James Corden. He's insufferable.
Liv, I had something to add, but I can't remember. You said
that's okay. That's okay. We all forget things.
I'll try to think of it again. My brain.
I guess.
So here's what I think about Lib. How many kids today that would be gay in my generation are going to see themselves as trans now? And would I, if I were growing up now, would I be trans now instead of gay?
No,
I don't know.
They're different. Okay, so they're different categories, and and every trans person that I know understands that these are quite separate categories. Being gay is fundamentally different than being transgender.
Here's okay. This is the distinction very clear in my mind, but this is what I think gets confused in others, because gay is an attraction to the same sex. To me, any form of femininity, like growing up, was associated with gay, but now it's associated with trans. So like,
why not
normally if you had a guy and he was a little bit feminine, you would suspect him of being gay. But now if you have even a gay guy that's feminine, you would maybe think, is he really gay or is this transness?
Well,
because of the femininity.
You might think that.
No, I think.
I mean,
that sounds like a you thing.
I think the gay guys themselves growing up would think that question that about themselves.
I have been in the grocery store a few times where I wasn't sure if that was like a trans woman or if that was a gay guy. I've said, but I mean, it doesn't matter. Unless I'm interacting.
Well, they're
with
usually over 6 feet tall.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a big deal. I mean, it's just like, I mean, if I have to interact with that person, then in that case, if it comes up in the conversation, it's important for me to know that. Then at that point, I'll ask them, or it'll be. But it's not important otherwise. I mean, like I will say that yes, there's cases where, it's not as easy to tell from a glance. But does that matter to me?
Yeah. I don't see. I mean, I think what Jeff is saying is that there is a concern that the advocacy for trans people will lead to people who would be like gay, who are gay,
possibly becoming
no, not really, not necessarily any kind of advocacy on the part. I'm just saying, like, what they experience through media now. There's more options to, like, growing up. There was never
there are more options.
To, like, wonder, are you trans, are you gay, etc. It was like you're pretty much straight or you're gay. That was
you just had Simon Says.
Today people are given more
and
options.
now you might be, well, I'm attracted to guys.
To have
does
more
that
options.
mean I'm trans? Does that mean I'm gay? There's more.
So
it's not necessarily like an active campaign to like.
First off, you do know that straight trans people exist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know that
specifically about young gay people growing up today with this new paradigm versus the one I grew up under.
It's a different paradigm.
Sure. I know what Jeff's saying.
They're given more options.
Most effeminate gay men turned out gay, and they were okay with that classification. Yeah. And now in this new paradigm, I wonder what percentage of that would shift over to the trans category now that option is more normalized.
Well, I think as the
Are you staking some sort of like a good or bad claim to that?
No, I didn't hear good or bad. I just heard like, yo, what do you guys think these numbers are going to do based off of past influences?
I have no idea.
There's definitely was an explosion in people identifying as trans in the last few years, and I think that's going to die off now.
Trans is the new gay. Like, as the generation goes, there's going to be less what I know of as gay, and there's going to be more of. Except it's the same type of person. If you took a gay person from a gay bar from 30 years ago and a trans person from a queer bar today, they're almost the same person. They're an effeminate male, but today they're trans and they express themselves more, like the feminine part is more accentuated. And in my day, they were just effeminate men or gay men or cis.
Hey guys, I got one quick question because I don't know when I'm going to be able to ask this question again. Who is now? I'm not trying to cause any division at all, but seriously, just in a joking manner. But for real, if you want, wink, wink. Tell me, are gay people usually harder to deal with, or is it trans people who you would think who would be harder to like deal with? Like who's more of a dick, I guess.
People in general.
Just people in general, yeah. Just an asshole is an asshole no matter how they identify.
You know, like if you go past, I don't know.
If you want to talk about, in terms of activists, in terms of like
in terms of like who is hard, like who's in terms of like fucking
like all the trans people I've known personally have been really cool people. So like I wouldn't, but the trans people you see on Twitter,
than gay people is what I'm asking.
Yeah,
I've never met one.
I'm saying like I've known the people, the trans and gay people I've known personally. I've had nothing. They were friends of mine.
I'm asking who gets more rights. Who gets more rights is what I'm asking.
Who gets more rights? I mean, like everybody technically. I mean, technically, trans people. The only rights that they're really in contest right now is the sports and the bathroom thing, and
what?
And that's the only thing that's really in contest at the moment.
What are you talking about?
For trans people?
Female sports.
They can already marry. They can already marry who they want.
And what, they can't play volleyball on it? Maybe they can't. Maybe they can't spike as well.
In the female category, the male to female trans, trans women.
You would think the first thing that they would do though is like win like a monster truck rally. You know, like
I've been supporting for a long time. I'm saying
that's how you win people over in the South.
That's the way you get the WNBA to actually be.
But apparently, a lot of sports organizations have allowed trans women to participate for decades, and yet we haven't had.
Nobody just nobody knew about it. Nobody cared, because that's the thing. That's the thing that confused me so much about the trans explosion of debate and everything. Is like I grew up knowing trans people. I grew up and like it was just not a big deal. Like if anything, like I knew a lot of gay people too, but I mean, like the fact that I knew trans people, it wasn't like something that really like, it never seemed like a big deal to me. Like even my parents, my parents were more like, I think were more like put off by gay people than they were by trans people. Really, like growing up, it's weird. Like whenever it became like such a big deal in all media and everything, it confused me. I was like, I thought we were already okay with trans people. I didn't know this was an issue.
I mean, for what it's worth, I didn't even know about trans people's existence until I was in like late high school, but I was also relatively sheltered. So,
right. I mean, it's weird that I knew as many as I did because I grew up in like the freaking East Texas South. You would think that would be
as drag queens. They were mostly drag queens, and then
I didn't know
some drag queens that
back to what
drag 24
I knew a lot of drag queens, and I knew two actual trans people.
This goes back to what Jeff. This goes back to what Jeff was saying, dude, about the media pumping this shit, because like they weren't putting this stuff in newspapers. Like this wasn't in USA Today.
It was on talk shows. It was on Sally Jesse.
Well, I'm saying though, like what Jeff was saying, like it was being the media pushes it, right? And I know Hollywood got caught pushing certain things, and people were like, "Yo, like we don't want to do that." Like that's.
But in this day and age, with so much there's so many vectors for media.
But so like, the problem is that like it's
not as centralized. Everybody's pushing everything now.
Jack's Law. So it's not that I didn't know that trans people like existed. It's that I didn't like think like they weren't trans people to me. They were like mentally ill, degenerate.
How did you meet these people? I've never met any. I don't think I've ever met any trans people. Maybe
you just need to go hang out and drug.
Yeah, but he's acting like it's like he's acting like it's like a cafe full of trans people. Like no, like they're not like all around.
I met all these people through doing drugs. So.
Oh, okay. So we found a commonality then.
With Lanza.
That's an interesting link there. Actually, I didn't even think about that, but that makes sense.
And that is not to say that all gay or trans people do drugs. That's not at all.
No.
That's how I met. That is how I met.
I think Chris just admitted that Lindsay pegs him on the weekends.
Dude.
Rock and roll, dudes. Let's go.
I don't know, Moose. That was like the funniest.
Pegging.
That's probably the funniest thing I've heard all week for sure.
This stream is totally peggers right now.
If anybody can top that, that'd be hilarious.
I mean, I don't know. If someone says that something like, and that's not your response to it, then you deserve the shame that you feel. If someone says something like you and you don't just like own it, then you deserve the shame you feel.
Guys, can I tell you some real shit? Like these are just my thoughts, okay? I don't think that they're real, right? But like I in the past have thought, I think Venus Williams, you know her?
Mm-hmm.
The tennis
Serena and the twin.
Yeah, no, but I think Venus is actually LeBron James. and I think LeBron James is Jay-Z's son. That's just my thoughts, okay?
Who's Jay-Z's son?
LeBron James, which is also Venus or Serena Williams.
Yeah, and the twins are the same person too. They're both.
Oh wait, not Serena.
Like,
Venus.
Whenever they play LeBron James, they get on each other's
shoulders. They called her Penis Williams. I heard.
Woo, sorry.
Chuck, did they get on each other's shoulders in like a trench coat, and pretend to be LeBron, like?
I'm psychologically
she's like 6'7".
Is she really tall? I didn't know.
Wait, I think LeBron's like scoots down or something before he plays.
Does Buck Angel actually describe it that way? I don't think he like describes it as describes himself as psychologically twisted. I think he talks about how like gender dysphoria is a mental disorder.
I mean, he has referred to himself in a jovial way.
I know there's a push to stigmatize by having it removed from the DSM, but then that removes it as a diagnosis too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think it should be removed from the DSM, but like, it is worth noting that like, gender dysphoria is a mental disorder in the same way that like autism is.
I don't consider autism.
Yeah, but is it? What about Mandela?
Homosexuality used to be. I mean, but there's it in the future, like not being classified as a mental disorder at some point, like homosexuality.
Well, the difference is homosexuality is literally like natural, like it is literally the way that animals.
But isn't trans natural too? Like, isn't that one of the arguments for it?
I think part of the issue is that it's a specifically human thing. I do think, like with homosexuality, we can see homosexuality.
Oh, we don't see animals changing,
except for the frogs.
Well, there's species that do.
They change sex, but they don't. The thing is, like, it's transgender.
We don't see like gorillas cutting coconuts in half. Well, they did on the Jungle Book, though. He sure did.
They did in the Jungle Book. You're right. That was a documentary. Hey guys, that was a very serious documentary.
Did you guys see that Mandela where I actually say, I don't want to say it wrong, but they are the greatest athlete ever. It's Bruce Jenner. If you actually go back and look now, like the Mandela got me, you can actually see them wrap the gold medal around her big juicy tits in '74.
Wait, what?
Wild.
I don't know.
Lanza, you have some good jokes too sometimes, man. My man, I gotta tell you, it's like I gotta return that compliment. You got some good jokes too.
That one wasn't mine, but it's a really good one. That the joke really goes. I heard Caitlyn Jenner is actually thinking about going back now. It's going to be hard to remember what she looked like.
Steve, I agree, but they're both
juicy tits
within the DSM-5, which is my point is that I think that it's valid to have them as like diagnosable disorders.
Because I think there are people that have genuine gender dysphoria where they are so uncomfortable with the idea.
Big pharma, dude. Why are you pushing more like things to serve with pills and stuff?
Who said anything about pills? I'm just saying, like, I think there are people that are so.
He's like, diagnosed. Like, what do you think they're going to do after that?
Well, first off, they're
going to cut your dick off. What you're going to do?
I mean,
you're going to cut your dick off.
I'll take a pill to not cut my dick off for sure, if that's what I need to do.
Initial steps to basically any
mental
disorder is lots and lots of therapy before you even consider taking pills. Usually.
Yeah, guys, I'll be sure anytime I'm thinking about cutting my dick off, I'll be sure to like just grab a pills, like for sure, dude. Like,
just make sure you do it. Just make sure you do it on like Rumble or something, so you can go viral with it, right? Like, make sure make an event out of it.
You've been watching too many horror movies, my friend. I pray for you.
That's actually a human giant. There was a human giant skit from a long time. It was a sketch show where like this. It was like this dude that was trying so hard to go viral, and he nothing was working, and so he went so far as he cut his own dick off on camera.
He didn't. No, he didn't. I didn't know he didn't. I don't know what you're talking about.
But his views
honestly what Liv was talking about more. Honestly,
his views got eclipsed by a guy that made funny faces. That was the joke of the skit. Is that like he cut his dick off?
I think I got
it. There was a guy just making like funny faces and like and he got like way more views. So,
thank you.
Is the thought pervasive versus is this a state of
Good story.
Good story.
clearly.
Yeah, no. Again,
old
Steve,
Joe.
like what I'm saying, Steve, is that they're both alike in that they both should be in the DSM-5 as diagnosable things, because there are like treatments that we can medically give people.
Yeah.
Not that they're like similar. I guess I wasn't making myself clear, I think.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying now. I mean, it's like because there really is. There's no pill for autism, right? You can't.
There's no pill for it.
You can medicate them to some degree, but there's nothing that's actually going to like make the autism go away. But
because a lot of
the gender dysphoria actually can be alleviated through hormone therapy and stuff like that. So
it doesn't go away, but it can be alleviated in the same way that,
yeah.
In the same way that like.
So there's a certain level that it just becomes tolerable.
Yeah, they're called muscle relaxers.
Yeah,
you're right. Everything. If man, they used to get a long time ago.
No, I'm just saying that like that's where it goes, dude. Every time if it's a diagnosed something,
that usually involves taking sort of the external and sort of like making it appear the way you want it to be.
That's basically like saying like you cure it by smoking lots of pot, basically. But still,
like for instance, like for me, one of the ways that I help alleviate my gender dysphoria is by shaving my body pretty consistently and keeping it relatively hair free. Is it exceedingly difficult? Yes, it is. But
you feel
better. All women have gender dysphoria. Well, no, because they're women. Never mind.
Congruent with yourself.
Yeah.
I'm stupid, bro.
Like you get a mental health benefit from it.
Yes, you get a mental health benefit, and like more power to you, man. And over time, ever since like I first had my very first conversation about trans issues on streams and comment section and stuff, going back to PF Young's channel and stuff like that, like my views have evolved, quite a bit actually. I mean, I used to think like, well, no, like, a trans person's gender dysphoria and that's it, and as I've got more times gone along, I just find that it's just really immaterial.
I've got an interesting proposal for you. Because I never thought about this stuff. If somebody needed a treatment, right, of something to do with like what Lib is saying, let's leave it open for now. Let's not define it close what the treatments could be. But let's say they're going to say, okay, fine, but the funding has to come from what we're giving to another country. So I'm just asking this because I think it's a fun question. Which country would you like them to take money from in order for these to exist? Which I'm honestly like
Israel.
They spend so much money, bro. If they want to cover some LASIK hair surgery,
I'll even add some more nuance for nitpickers like Jeff. Okay, I just want them to take that funding away from the offensive weaponry that we give Israel. We can keep funding their Iron Dome.
Hey Lib, I want you to pick sides.
Pick sides?
Yeah, you just picked. You are picking sides when you want to, which I don't take away from you. You're absolutely
pick sides. You're right.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not saying personally you. I'm saying right now you have picked a side.
Yeah,
and that's fine because we all do. But like I'm saying, when it comes to taking money away from specific countries, to make these things happen, which one would you? I would choose Israel.
Yeah,
that's what he just said. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, so you said that?
That's what he said too.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. I was yelling and I didn't hear.
I tried to beat him to it. I was like, Israel, and he said it. He said it right before I said it. And like I was like, damn it, Lib was too fast.
Oh my god! Look, yo, hey, it's Lib without fear.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
No, I'm not tough. I'm actually a lazy bitch.
All right, I'm down. I mean, I could get a
petition. You're not an agent.
I could write a petition in like 5 minutes.
I don't even know how you. I don't know how you even like manage that. That's like some hardcore shit right there. Iranian shit, man. That's like hardcore.
Iranian agent, yeah.
No, but what if the banking cartel goes, guys? Look, there's no Federal Reserve yet in Iran. We're gonna have to try to attack it eventually to put our Federal Reserve notes and $2, $3, $4 a day to what do they call it, communism or socialistic system.
Well, you know what
they're not gonna like taking the money away from where they say it should go.
You know what I did in that situation?
I had a big inflatable hand.
I ran so far away. Dad jokes.
Oh, I ran. Okay.
And I ran. I ran so far away.
God, dude.
There was some guy.
That's good. I like it.
A week or two ago, who like kept calling me an Iranian.
Nobody answered my question.
Which was just like hilarious.
No, it doesn't matter.
I heard it. I just don't remember it.
I'm sorry. I derail. I am.
Oh yeah, something about the
bank derail everything today.
Oh, I was just. I guess it was more of a statement. Like I guess that the banks, they're not gonna, dude. I need to find people who know how to get like for real shit done. I'm tired of like listening to like people go like, oh, we do this, and they're thinking about that. It's like, bro, put me in with some people who like know how to get shit done, and I'll know how to get along with them. You know what I mean? Like,
there are people who are getting shit done. It's just they're in the halls of power right now.
Yeah, they're not hanging out on
the but what are they? I mean, it sounds like they're the ones getting done. No pun intended.
What do you want to do? What do you want to get done?
I sometimes I really relate to Daniel Tosh has a great joke about that. He says like, sometimes he wishes he was gay because just to have a man around the house. I swear. I feel that way all the time. I'm like, man, just have a man around the house. Swear to God, get some things done around here finally.
Or a lesbian. Lesbians usually get shit done too.
Guys, I'm gonna say something. There are no intelligent racists.
No, there definitely are.
There are. They're two different variables.
Yeah, I don't think.
Although being racist is a pretty good indicator that you're not intelligent, I will say.
Well, it's a form of tribalism, but every intelligence is not immunity from tribalism. Like your most intelligent people in the world are still going.
Intelligence can be based on value, and but I'm saying people who are racist miss out on so much fucking value that they can't be intelligent.
I mean, I do think there is a kind of stupidity in racism, different kinds of racism, yeah. But like, I don't think.
I mean, I don't even.
Did you hear that double talk? He said kinds of racism. Racism isn't kind, sir.
No, well, they keep adding kinds.
I'm kidding.
In my day, it was obvious what racism was, and there was one kind, and now they keep adding.
Well, don't you think there is like there are like different like. People are racist in different ways.
Yeah, but
right?
I don't.
The worst kind
that people are racist.
Sure.
I don't think racism is the issue that you think.
And every black person
things to worry about. It's not.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, Chris. I want to hear what Chris knows all the black people think.
I'm just saying, every black person I've ever known, I've known a lot of black people. I used to try to produce rap music and stuff. I hung out with a lot of black guys.
Oh, shit.
Every one of them, all said the worst kind of racism, in their opinion, was that soft racism, the racism low expectation shit that they get from like the liberal, the liberal white women kind of shit.
But also, Jeff, I want to know. I really seriously want to know, where did you get what you were saying from what I said?
What did I say? Or what did
you were saying that people like to pretend that racism is some big thing, and I don't understand.
I didn't necessarily tie it to you or impute it to you.
Well,
I'm saying that is what the woke say. That is what they've been saying on social media the last 4 years. It's what they've been saying in my groups.
They are less intelligent, dude, because of the fact that just because they decide
not intrinsically. Lanza,
yes. I'll tell you why. Well, here, let me just. I'm not even like gonna fight it to the death, but let me give you my thing. Is like, if real value is the key, if you are racist, bro, you will miss real value. And that is on a percentage scale, depending on how racist you are.
If you're any kind of prejudice, if you're prejudiced against gay people, if you're prejudiced against trans people, you're prejudiced against
each other for racism.
Lanza,
if you have any kind of prejudice, you're going to be in that category, though. I mean, it's not just racism.
Someone racist might say,
"Hey, whoa, does that go for people who like Joe Cool, who are totally against the police?"
Joe Cool.
I don't do. Listen, let Joe speak for himself, bro. Don't mess up what's going on. Liv, go ahead.
Yeah. So
Well, Joe Cole said he was coming up, so I was giving him the opportunity.
Oh, okay. I don't watch the chat. That's not the worst move ever. My bad.
So you don't see all this stuff.
No, that's actually really smart. My bad.
Yeah, that's actually really smart. Considering some of the people,
I don't watch the chat at all, guys. So yeah. I'm not.
Well, all you'd be seeing is Frank saying that you're an idiot constantly. So.
Yeah, you know what,
Frank? What the hell, Frank? I love Frank, and you know what?
I know.
One day Frank will get out of his confusion, and he will realize that
Frank says I'm an idiot all the time too, and I am. So it's fine.
Yeah, Frank's fine. Frank doesn't hurt me.
A stop clock is still right. A stop clock is still right twice a day. So it's fine.
Dude, Frank is like I think Frank is like an elf or something. He's like half mythical.
Frank said these two things that aren't necessarily.
Well, if Frank didn't say anything, actually.
Well, I want to mention it because I think Jeff says this all the time too.
What do I do?
Which I think people have the right to like and dislike whoever they want for whatever reason, or whatever they want for whatever.
Yeah,
reason.
It doesn't make them intelligent.
Absolutely. However, I also have the right to judge them for that.
So you think racists are intelligent? Okay.
I judge all the time. I am not pretending like I don't judge. You are being judged every moment you're.
I'm not trying to really minimize you, Liv. I apologize. I hope you can see that I'm doing that like exaggeratedly.
And for what it's worth, I usually take Jeff's a lot of Jeff's judgments pretty seriously.
I don't take you seriously though because
I don't really take. I take Jeff about as seriously on geopolitics as he takes me. So, you know.
Well, I'll tell you why I don't take you seriously, because I go back and watch some of the streams, and especially other streams that I'm not on, but you're relaying conversations, and you never seem to really hear what I'm saying or get my point. So, like, I kind of just
I feel like that's
because I'm like, yeah, he's really passionate about this conversation, but I know. Once I go back and listen to his assessment of it, he's not even going to have gotten my original message to begin with. So I don't have to invest as much in it.
I feel like that's you need to present your message better then, because
it could be absolutely it could be my part. I own the communication difficulties. All I know is there are people that my message does land with, and so it can't just be me.
Sure, but there's people like that's the case with me as well. So like
and
again, we're like at an impasse.
Yeah, that's just
absolutely. But we can all be friends here and get along and still
none of it.
No, there's nothing. Yeah, no, there's nothing. Yeah, no, I like Jeff. I don't. Yeah, but there's like that's why I keep coming back.
Yeah, if I still lived in public, I would acknowledge him. I would pretend like I know him.
Yeah, I take this woman out to lunch any day of the week.
There we go.
All right, guys, go ahead. Do like the spaghetti scene from Lady and the Tramp.
God,
where they eat spaghetti. I need spaghetti. Don't I?
I mean, he's not even on camera. How can I possibly, I'm not gonna do it.
I'm just.
Except Lanza wants to be the spaghetti.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I have healthy boundaries.
MoOse is going to be the meatballs.
So note to self: when jokes don't land, other jokes will come back and hit me. Okay.
Exactly.
Probably like a wet fish.
Yeah, like getting slapped with a wet fish. Exactly.
Vladimir, why are you so ugly today?
Oh,
Vlad just kind of is a pretty like.
Yeah, don't you have a war to go fight or something? Don't you have a country? Don't you have a war to go lose or something like that, Vladimir?
Vladimir kind of strikes me as the type of person that might sleep with a strap under the pillow.
Like a strap on?
Oh, it's like a blicky or like a pew
Vladimir reminds
protection
me of
device.
Someone who probably sleeps with a plug-in.
So, like, I understand that people will like use a lot of that kind of like a weird TikTok language, like on TikTok.
I've never been on TikTok in my life, just so you guys know.
Okay, calling a gun a pew pew.
Hey, is Brown's Boy Raccoon City's?
Some of it is like there's this paranoia about YouTube and what words you have.
How about we call it artwork?
Some of it is like, I think, genuine YouTube, like with like a grape and what? How do I say?
Yeah, stuff like that. I'd rather them play it safe if they have any doubt, because I certainly don't know.
I mean,
I don't
like let's take it back to the streets. Just call it work, like call it work,
I call it garden tools and artwork.
Yeah. Let's get to call it work, man. That's what we do on the street. You call it work.
But anyway, why
you gotta go sling that rock.
Up?
That's going to work,
Like I don't know. It just it comes off as like self-censorship in like a really kind of gross way, not in kind of like a protecting the integrity of like whatever the channel, but like I don't know.
What do you mean? Like you picked up on some subsonic DARPA keyword I said or something?
Well, no. So like if you go on like TikTok or any of these like short form,
I swear to guys.
Okay, YouTube Shorts, right, is another example.
Okay.
Short form content.
Sure.
And people will basically, in a lot of the short form content, they will censor and what is it? Shadow ban certain words.
Okay. But yeah, you don't want to.
I don't watch YouTube Shorts because Shorts are for children. So.
Plus, it's part of the creative. Whatever. It's part of the creative process to say things differently anyway.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if there's one thing I love in this life, it's playing with language. So
on this is how it works on like TikTok and stuff. Which is
I haven't ever been on TikTok, bro. Like I don't think you're taking this like if you have questions about TikTok, like what somebody who's never been on TikTok might answer, I'm the person.
Okay. TikTok, Instagram, all of these social media things are like
they're geared towards taking your mind. I understand. Yes.
No, they overlap. Like the social things that go on these apps will overlap. So like just because something happened or predominantly happened on TikTok or whatever doesn't mean that it only affects TikTok, because I've seen this happen even in like YouTube.
How do you measure all that shit? How do you know what affects?
Well, it's not about measurement. It's about like my experience. Like I've seen people like say pew pew on TikTok, and then
I've heard it before too.
Months later,
and I never watched TikTok.
I saw people on like YouTube in like video essays referring to guns as like,
yeah, but I'm talking, dude. Listen, I gotta be honest.
Like when people say unaliving and shit like that, yeah,
or unaliving. Unaliving is another.
Is it just an?
I understand where Lib is coming from, because my whole life, dude, when I was growing up and shit, people would use like catchphrases or like whatever was kind of hot at the time. It's
not about catchphrases.
Now I know it isn't about. I know it isn't about specifically catchphrases, but go ahead.
Although it isn't much different than someone saying darn instead of damn.
What's the I don't understand what the problem is.
Well, so for it has begun. It has begun this like thing where people will like,
you have begun this thing, sir.
No, it's not me. I'm noticing it among other people online where they'll do.
Yes, tell us about it, please. Hurry.
Well, this is the first I'm hearing it.
It's an emergency. Yeah. Tell us quickly before
Jeff,
we
don't run considering you're a
what is the problem that you're seeing? I feel like you're saying there's a problem that you're seeing in communication.
Yeah,
I'm trying to understand.
All right, but I am following.
I'm not a fan of like that sort of like kind of self-censorship.
What kind of censorship?
In place of guns?
Like, yes. I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, you have to have things told to you in a specific way.
So initially on TikTok, it was in order like in like any of those social media sites, it was initially done because people were getting like their videos were getting flagged or their videos were getting shadow banned if they use certain keywords.
Yeah,
right.
That makes
so what?
They're gonna get around it with code words.
And so they're getting around it. Like,
hey, you guys want to see my?
Oh, you're saying self-censoring.
And so
yeah,
people,
self-censoring.
Holy shit, that's a really good point. I apologize.
And so people are doing this on other platforms where that sort of censorship isn't like. I understand that there are some keywords that can get your like channel like demonetized.
Dude,
are you saying like some it gets you in trouble and some it doesn't? How do you know which ones?
Yeah, so here's what I'm going to say to Lib. I actually do appreciate the Libs like saying this. I'm not meaning to cut it off. I just want to say that that's where the adage, know your audience. You know, there's a time and a place. Those two things are not to be forgotten either.
Yeah. No, I agree. But like it's worth noting that, like, again, the reason that I take issue with it is because it's like very clearly a thing that's branching out into other forms of like social media.
I love that.
Where
I would say you're right, man.
I'm so sorry, dude. I didn't know my.
I just wanted to show. I want to show Liv
his
my
Zoltan. Ask him to say Zoltan.
My computer, my unicorn computer.
Oh my god! Hang on. Well, oh my god, you have a huge echo. You need to mute one of them, please.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Please say Zoltan before you do that.
Anyway, I'm about to leave. I'm about to leave, and I wanted to bring this. I wanted to show you before I left. I just realized that I'm using the same colors that you're using in your icon there, and I was like, holy shit! I have like a lib computer.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Y'all are way gay.
My computer just
Mine's, see, it's a unicorn because I put the Wi-Fi antenna on the front of it like that. So it's a unicorn, and I just wanted, I might have to head out, but I just wanted to show you guys that because I thought it would be funny, and I hope you guys keep having a great conversation. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Oh,
and
thank you. I hope you do too.
Guys, one time I made a eunuch out of corn, and it was a unicorn.
Well, how did you make a eunuch out of corn? Because a eunuch is when you take someone and chop their testicles.
Hey, look, don't question certain things, man. You know, like he's allowed to identify that thing he made as a unicorn if he wants to.
What are the corn's testicles that get chopped off?
Dude, you guys just put people in a corner over here.
Actually, is that what it is? I think is it testes
or
is it the whole thing?
I wish they had corners to put people.
I have an interesting piece of information for Lib.
That's called backstaging somebody. That's putting them in the corner, Jeff. If you're gonna put them in the corner, you put them backstage.
Oh, I never backstage. I will either mute them or just kick them out.
Call in the coroner.
If you want to put some time
people
out
that like go backstage and bring them on. Backstage, bring him on. Backstage snafu, bring him on 2 seconds later. Backstage, 2 seconds.
Like there were people that clearly like they didn't fear the timeout when they were kids, so they don't have that. It doesn't get to them. But kids that were
Frank, let me know. Let me know. Just hit me up, and it's Survivor tonight later on. So
I'll see you for Survivor, guys. Later. It's been wonderful.
Later, Chris. Thanks for the funny jokes. Appreciate it.
Good one, guys. Right.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah. Have a good day, Chris.
That would mean that corn has the most testicles of any living thing, which I think is hilarious.
You just know how to say things that make people forget what they were thinking. That's your skill.
I do. That is one of my skills. I actually have.
Well, here I just remembered it. I just remembered it. Astrologically, the number one sign that is prone to be more
Aries.
We'll call it hermaphroditic energy wise, or whatever, is actually Libra, because they're the only one that isn't. They're the only one that isn't number one in anatomy. They are an object. It's not an animal. It's not a living being. It's just scales. Yeah, and I know I remember. Yeah, Libras are most prone.
I am an Aries.
The lifeless object.
I know, but you have Libra somewhere, probably as your moon, because you.
Actually, I'm pretty sure my moon was a Virgo.
Well, then you lied before. So that makes you a Libra.
What?
Wait, what's
Libra?
Libra?
Your name is Lib, bro. Your name is Lib. Get out of here. This is some simulation shit, bro.
I'm gonna figure out so how?
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It matters
because you said it was the one.
No, it doesn't, because we're not going to start a government thing to get Libran rights restored or anything.
We should. It should always be Aries season. I was born.
I guarantee you were born before 4/1.
Well, that means that you're
you were born before April for sure. You had a birthday recently. Have you had a birthday? Are you a Libra, darling?
April Fools is my birthday, and
oh shit. Okay, okay.
I was born around
Sounds
like
exactly right, except for one day.
I was born around 8 p.m., which does mean that my moon sign is Virgo.
Well, I could just tell that you're earlier Aries. I thought it was like 3:20 or 31 because I just know the one. I know for sure ones after like the 6th and the 7th get fucking.
Wait, I don't come across as Aries, Jeff, at all. Oh God.
Anyway, MoOse, what do you thinking, man? You got anything to add or any sort of direction? You anything you want to say? I heard someone say you've been gone for a while or something, but
he might be gone now.
Yeah.
Speaking of though, I'm actually probably gonna head out. I gotta go defend democracy. Oh, MoOse is cooking.
Hang on.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, hey, stay.
Y'all have fun.
Oh, is that
no. Older.
Is that fish?
Everyone have a great day.
Asparagus. You too, Lanza.
Yeah, stay healthy and yeah, you know what to do.
See y'all.
Not
I
really.
do.
I really know
democracy now.
What are you doing today with democracy?
I'm playing Helldivers. That's hell yeah, MoOse.
That's your kitchen?
07.
Oh, so now we can we have MoOse that can do cooking shows too.
Yeah, we need to get MoOse to do
07? What is?
It's a salute because you can see it. It's
the little
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have fun saving democracy for us.
Y'all have fun.
Guess I trust it in your hands.
Still. I mean, it's managed democracy, so like.
No.
Whatever.
No kind of management for me, micro or otherwise.
No, I know. It's a very fun game though.
Speaking of game.
Yeah.
Or games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
You said speaking of games.
Yes. Never mind.
Okay.
I don't want to.
What? You can say it. What were you gonna say? I'm an adult.
What is this? No, it's not anything about adulthood. I don't want to like over invest in the fantasy.
Okay.
What is this about the social? Are you talking about like the way, like I talk with Lib all the time about the way he uses language versus the way I use language, and him trying to get his language to be the language norm? No, I forgot what it. No, we were supposed to play some games. That's all. Way back. So if he didn't even remember it, I didn't want to take the conversation further than that and get all excited all over again. If they engineered me, they did a pretty poor job, because I feel like I would have turned out way better than I did. And I've watched siblings go through the school system and come out successful and healthy in their own person. I've watched their kids do it. I've watched my friends and their kids do it. Like, I have so many data samples. I was in the school system. I was one of the people that was supposed to be engineering your kids. So that was just not my experience of school, or really of anybody I know. In fact, the only time I've ever seen people talk about having been engineered by the education system is when I started hanging out online in these streams. So I'd like to hear more about that one day. White people can disparage colored people if they want. I think there's just higher consequences now. I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm not saying there's not an agenda to indoctrinate currently now. It definitely, when I was I have some of my little books, it was like color worksheets, and then you make them into a book. It was ABCs and all that. And one of them is this little Cajun history and culture, and we colored it and made it into. That's the kind of stuff we did as kids. Like, if that's all we were indoctrinated into is the alphabet, Cajun history. I think we did a few on American history. So we colored worksheets, and like that. If that's engineering, then maybe I was engineered and don't realize it. I was in things like the Boy Scouts, which to me that would be way more engineering than public school, and even that wasn't. We had the freedom to pretty much do whatever we wanted to do. Like, we take our own path through scouting. I was part of the church. The Catholic Church, you would think if there was going to be some indoctrination, it would have. We went to catechism every day after school because the church was next to the school. All the Catholic kids, I think it was on Wednesday, every Wednesday, after the bell rang, instead of going to the bus, all the Catholic kids, which was like more than half the class, would walk down this grass trail, like cattle track or whatever, to the church, behind the church where the catechism building was, and we'd go to catechism. So it was like our 7th class of the day on Wednesdays. And even then, I was not engineered or indoctrinated. I was taught basic morals, like don't lie to people, don't steal, don't hurt people, honor your father and mother, etc., etc. And as a kid, you know what's bad. Like, when you're doing something bad, you know you're doing something bad. It's like, every time I got in trouble for something, it was not a lot. I was not really a bad kid. I deserved to be in trouble because I knew I was doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing. And I had a conscience, and I still do. I hope I have a remnant of one. So I would feel really bad if I did something that hurt somebody else, or I didn't mean to do, or I would feel terrible. I would cry about it all night long. And so that kept me from kind of doing the right thing. So I didn't nobody needed engineering. I've said this before. We showed up in kindergarten. Well, we had Head Start. So Head Start, kindergarten. Pretty much knowing how to act. We weren't fighting and hitting each other and stealing. And we were pretty much well-behaved kindergartners, and we knew how to be polite. We had manners. Nobody needed to be taught this stuff. So I don't know why it's suddenly an issue, or if it's always been an issue in certain places, but it's just nothing I encountered growing up that I can relate to. When I was in the school system, I had very few behavioral issues. There's always that one or two kids here and there, but for the most part, the kids were cooperative. They made their best attempt to learn. I wasn't engineering any of them. I was just presenting the material and then testing them on it. So I'm curious about the engineering, and I do want to hear about it one day. So maybe that could be a topic for next time. Social engineering. All right, here I go. Watch me in the stream today. Let's get the music going. And cue. God. I don't know why this music's taking so long. So anyway, bye. Survivor tonight. You can come watch it with us in Discord, or watch it for yourself. It's still pretty early in the season. I think they might be merging tonight. Pro Stream. What is that, a service? MoOse, we should talk about helping us get our numbers up. Semi-producing something. So anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, come enjoy Survivor with us on your own, and maybe we'll be talking about it tomorrow. And if not, we'll certainly be hanging out here tomorrow. Yeah, like MoOse said, hit the thumbs up. I hear it helps the algorithm. Like and subscribe. Oh, cool. I understand. No, absolutely. Definitely don't overcommit. Because this is kind of a community project anyway. It's whatever people want to bring to it. It's kind of volunteer, whatever people want to bring to it. If they have ideas for directions they want to take it. I love those kind of community collaboration projects. Okay, anyway. That's it. See you tomorrow, Thursday. Take care.